The week ahead, the week of the 15th to the 21st of April 2024 is a seize the day, anything is possible kind of energy in our sky. We're seeing so much good stuff going on between Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus that for most of us and most of our lives, happy, unexpected surprises are in the order of events for us as a rare cycle happens between Jupiter and Uranus co-joining in Taurus, not seen since 1941 in that sign. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the world events. They don't look as sweet as the general populace experience here. Unfortunately, we have some asteroids for revenge, Pandora's box for the ills that befell the world, sitting pretty tightly to some of the action in the sky this week. And we'll address that, how it might play out for the world in terms of politics, wars, etc. That's called world or mundane astrology. That's not all we do here. After I give a light touch about the world this week, we'll talk about your sign, and you want to listen for your rising sign as the most accurate. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, it's most unique to your birth time, right? Because it's like what the Eastern horizon was lined up at the time of your birth, versus everyone has the same sun sign in a month, everyone the same moon sign in 2.5 days. But more so, the sun is your career and purpose and your deeper soul, and the moon is your body and your mind and your home, and the sun is your dad and the moon is your mom. Hey, a lot of meanings, right? But the rising ascendant sign is all about you at the steering wheel of your life. So we want to listen for that definitely, as well as you can listen for both sun and moon as well. Hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. I love fixed stars and minor asteroids. As I said, we'll be bringing a few of those asteroids into the story, including the asteroid America. Now, well, I said this is a great week ahead. It mostly is, and I do like it because of the flow between Mars, who's broken free of his conjunction to Saturn, flowing to both Jupiter and Uranus in what's called a sextile, or 60 degrees away. This is Mars swimming through the oceans of Pisces in a flow relationship to the Taurus sky, where both Jupiter and Uranus are sitting beside each other. Now, I've done a whole video on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, indeed 3 videos. The one that is at 80,000 views that came out in December, go check that out in the 2024 Big Transits playlist. I'll put the link below. Dives in a deep way into the cycles of Jupiter-Uranus and how this impacts you based on your sign. I also have a kind of really cool, spooky UFO version of it, and world events and historical events with Dan Waits of World Astrology Report. I reissued that video just a couple of days ago on Friday, and I think you're hearing this on Monday. And finally, new videos coming out, and it'll be yesterday by the time you see this, that also talks a bit about all signs aspects in the sky, as well as some world events connected to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So you got a lot of resources, guys, on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So I'm not going to talk about that in the weekly video. I'm addressing rather Mars in his relationship to Saturn and Jupiter, as well as Pluto with the asteroid America coming into a gnarly square with the sun. So that's a Pluto America asteroid conjunction in the sign of Aquarius, and the sun moving into Taurus coming up on the weekend on Saturday, Sunday into Monday. And that's going to be a gnarly world leader story, a gnarly political story, maybe a brutal war story. We'll talk about that separately as we get going. Hey, and I'm recording today for my Patreon community, early access ad-free, on April the 12th. Some of you have asked me about my Sky Reader class. It was scheduled for mid-April. Unfortunately, because of a planned trip to Portugal that wasn't planned when I was scheduling this course to do the El Camino in the month of June, I'm leaving the 3rd week of May. I will not have time to teach that class. So it's been rebooted to September. Now, if you still want to be informed of when it starts and get an early bird discount for that 6-week live class, the link to get on the wait list and get notified when the doors open. I do have limited spots. You can sign up for that wait list, or just, I'm so sorry if you've been waiting for April. Unfortunately, when a pilgrimage is calling you out of the blue, you go with the pilgrimage for your soul. And that's what I needed to do. So I hope you guys understand that. And there we go. Now let's go back to the sky. Alrighty. So I'm going to show you the sky. Let's do that. And I also want to say a few things. There's the asteroid Pandora involved in this. And where is Pandora sitting in the sky? Well, I'm going to show it to you. But before I do, let's talk about what Pandora is and what she isn't in terms of a myth and in terms of an asteroid. Now, Pandora is going to be sitting this week basically at 18 degrees of Taurus. Don't forget, Jupiter and Uranus are conjuncting at 20 degrees of Taurus. And so this Pandora and her box is very embedded within this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Now, when we talk about Pandora, and I gave an overview of the history of the myth in my last video that came out yesterday, which I will not repeat, she basically got duped by Zeus, okay, in a revenge mode against Prometheus to open a box. And in that box, which isn't a box, it was probably an urn with a cement, top or seal. Zeus said, don't open it, whatever you do, it's just decorative. And of course, she did open it, and Zeus had planted the woes of the world inside in the urn. They flew out like birds and scattered around the world. Now, I really want to remind you that in Pandora's box, that didn't get released is hope, because Pandora didn't see that hope was at the bottom of this urn. I'm going to read a paragraph from a very beautiful book. I've had this book for years. I got it in Costa Rica in 2019, and like one of those English people bins for people who are in Costa Rica. Stephen Fry, Mythos. I'll put this as a part of my new list of books that I enjoy in my description box below. But it is one of my resource books when I talk about Greek mythology, because he makes Greek mythology super easy and very English and very fun. And I just want to read just a bit about Pandora, because I want to remind you that Mars will sextile Pandora's box. Mars, with the energy of Mars flowing to Jupiter, is fortunate action, and Pandora, fortunate action, and then to Uranus sees the day, and between all of them, sudden fortunate action, sudden unexpected surprising fortunate action, and Jupiter-Uranus is anything is possible. And if there's hope at the bottom of a box of worldly woes, and Jupiter's applying in a flowing way to it, I feel positive. In fact, Jupiter is even applying in a flowing way to Pandora's box asteroid on this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Well, he's coming into contact to Neptune, and that makes him very spiritual warrior. So listen in a little bit. Get your bedtime story vibe going, okay? So basically, she opens a box, and Zeus is looking on, smiling. He's hidden in the shape of a wolf, and he's like going, cackle, 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 ha, 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 ha. I tricked Pandora. I got back at Prometheus for stealing fire from the gods. And that was, his revenge plan. So there's a revenge story in here. So what is the revenge? Zeus is exacting revenge on who? Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods, who also created humans, by the way, with Athena and Zeus. Now, it's an interesting story, because in our Pandora's box story, we have the asteroid for revenge sitting right there as well. It's a story of Nessus and a centaur who wanted to exact revenge on Hercules. So we see both a revenge and a Pandora story connected to Jupiter-Uranus in our sky in Taurus this week, as the asteroid Nessus is sitting at almost 14 degrees of Taurus, Pandora at 18, and Jupiter-Uranus at 20. And so let's talk about, first of all, Pandora. So basically, I love how he writes here, so he says, it's kind of fun, Zeus was looked on smiling, the most wicked and terrible smile, as like a cloud of locusts. You got to laugh at that, because there's going to be a locust plague in the United States this year. The shrieking cicadas, the shrieking, wailing creatures clawed the air and circled the garden below them in a great vortex before flying up and away. This is what escaped the urn. Over the town, over the countryside, around the world, settling like a pestilence wherever man had habitation. A pestilence, yeah. So then what were these shapes that flew from the urn or the box? They were mutant descendants of the dark and evil children of both Nyx and Erebus. They were born of, and he gives us the names in Greek, apate, and it means this. I'm not going to say them. I'm just going to give you the English translations. They were born of deceit, old age, misery, blame, violent death. They were the offshoots of ruin and discord. These were their names. Now, this is what flew into the earth, right? Coming from that upline, like, seriously, the ancestral line sucks, guys. I mean, the ancestral line, deceit, old age, blame, violent death, ruin, and discord. That's the ancestral lineage from these mutant children of Nyx and Erebus. And the things that flew out of the actual Pandora's box are hardship, starvation, pain, anarchy, lies, quarrels, disputes, wars, battles, manslaughters, and murders. Well, doesn't that just sound like the world? But there's still hope at the bottom of the box. Pandora didn't realize when she closed it up, she left this little bit of one of the best children of the mutants, hope. So we have the possibility maybe this week of something hopeful happening. That's where I'm going. In your life, in my life, in the world at large. Let's see what happens. At the end of the week, like when we move into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday into Monday, that's not so great. That's that Pluto Sun square, but we'll talk about it. We'll break it down. We'll get to your sign, etc. Hey guys, don't forget, if you're new to the channel or you're watching this in the premiere on Monday, like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. I just crossed the 60,000 mark, and I want to have a 60,000 celebration party with some giveaways. I'll be announcing that soon. If you want to know how to get into some of the prize winnings and free readings and courses, sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. They get first dibs on everything, and I'm going to make that contest contingent upon being in the newsletter. Cosmic Moonshine Weekly, Swig of Weekly Astrology News comes out every Saturday in your inbox. I write the forecasts for you in my own. No, it's not AI generated. Someone said, no, I'm writing this myself. Okay. I don't use AI. I'm the only person who hasn't tried Chat GPT yet. Now let's get rolling. I don't read a teleprompter either. I'm just talking. This is the sky, cued to Aries rising, right there. I'll annotate just briefly. Only reason I don't like annotating is I have to erase it, but let's do it. So here we can see that, let's just talk about the top of the story here. Pluto and Asteroid America, all right, are traveling together after being in Capricorn for a long time. Well, America was in Capricorn recently and began to square the ascendant of Israel, which is a Libra rising. The United States began to make sounds that were not shoulder to shoulder, no red lines, ironclad, all those cliches that we always hear, but rather began to tell Israel they might want to pull back or feed the starving people and act like they were humanitarian instead of genocidal maniacs. So the United States began to make sounds, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing, of not being kosher with or okay with what Israel's up to. About the time the Asteroid America, which takes about 6 or 7 years to go through this circle, was squaring the nation of Israel's ascendant here. I just want you to be aware of that. Number 2, this is now the Asteroid America. This is a bit of the worldly stuff, moving into contact with Pluto. And interestingly, reaching that perfection at 2 degrees on Monday, the 22nd in my time zone, Pacific Standard Daily Time. So, but it's building up on the days of, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And at the same time, the sun here, which represents world leader, is going to move forward, all right, and move on Saturday or on the 20th into Taurus and begin to form a square or a difficult angle to Pluto and America. Now, brutality, tyranny, ruthlessness, dictators, narcissism. These are Pluto's sun energies. Forbidden love, toxic love, the dark father, okay? Stephen Forrest did a great essay on the dark fathers, and he actually wrote that essay before the war in the Middle East broke out, and he put in his list of dark fathers Netanyahu. All right, I'm just quoting somebody else. So we see the dark fathers playing out in dictators and tyranny and political corruption and control and the grabs for power. There are no world leaders, guys. There are no world leaders, except for Jimmy Carter, maybe, who are normal. They're all sociopaths by the time they get up that ladder. So what time you get into a place of power, 80% of people in power are sociopathic because it's the sociopaths that rise to the top. So Netanyahu is a classic narcissist, right? When he's rebuked, he will react. He has very narcissistic tendencies. Just clinically, it looks like it. This kind of energy can mean dark father, bad leader, dictatorial leader, Sun, Pluto, and America squaring most acutely Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There's something going on in the world in the weekend ahead that is not the happy story. Asteroid America is sitting right here. Now, just for your knowledge, this part of the sky is the rising sign of the nation of China. And China has a moon right there in the early degrees of Aquarius. So there could be some tension with China coming through the weekend, but I can't see it being a big deal, honestly. All eyes are on the Middle East. The other element going on here is that Joe Biden's got his moon. So does Prince Charles, by the way. But Joe Biden has his moon over here in early Taurus. I think it's 0 degrees of Taurus. And that means that this is the sun sitting on Joe Biden's moon, squaring Pluto and squaring the asteroid America. Who is over here, guys? Who's in Leo? Does anybody know which nation in the world is a Leo rising that's looking at the house of open enemies across the way? It's actually Iran. Iran is a Leo rising nation based on its latest natal chart. I think it's pretty accurate from what I can see when I look at events that have happened historically there. And Iran is looking at the seventh house of adversaries and open visible enemies, and they consider the United States an enemy as well as Israel. And they're looking across the way and seeing this Pluto, death, rebirth archetype, asteroid America. At the same time, they're looking across the way and seeing this over here. You might note that we have some problems over here. And this is going to create a broad T-square. Now, when I say T-square, usually it's a degree-based T-square. This is not a degree-based T-square. This is a sign-based T-square. But what it is saying to me, from the ascendant of Israel to the descendant of Israel into this mire in the sign of Taurus, this is a problem part of Pandora and the revenge of Nessus, who tried to exact revenge on Hercules. Now, we have a revenge asteroid, and we have the box of all the woes that befell the world. Does anyone need a reminder? You know, manslaughter, murder, starvation, etc. This indicates this time that I'm recording early access ad-free for my Patreon community. I'm recording this on April the 12th, which is a Friday. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm in the middle of a news story where Iran has declared that it will strike back at Israel, because Israel went in and bombed, or drone missile struck a consulate building in Syria, Damascus, Syria, that was the sovereign land of Israel, of Iran. And the reason is Iran. We say Iran, by the way, in Canada. Iran, and so in the United States as well. I just heard Joe Biden say Iran, but Iran. The dealio is that right now, as I'm recording this on this Friday, Venus Day, there is literally the threat of retaliation, exacting retaliatory measures or revenge for the killing of some top generals on sovereign land. So basically consulate or embassy type land in the city of Damascus that belonged to Iran, and you can't do that. It's against the international rules. Embassies are safe zones. You know how you play hide and seek? It's home base, for God's sakes. So you're not allowed, you're not supposed to assassinate people, kill people in embassies. That's why we have spies in embassies. It's safe ground. You go to the embassy for refuge. You know, if you want a defect, you run off to the other guy's embassy. So everyone knows that. It's the rules-based order. Yeah, right? No, Israel decides it's just going to massacre the generals of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard who were in that place at the time. Now, that is considered a provocative and risk-taking measure. Now, you also probably have heard that the Hamas leaders' 3 sons and grandchildren were killed, assassinated with a strike to a car just recently as well. You're seeing a lot going on where Israel is provoking the ire of the other side in provocative and extremely reckless ways. I was listening to PBS, and the headline was, for the story was that Israel had killed, not assassinated, sons of Hamas leader. No mention of the grandchildren in that car. No mention at all. Right? So you imagine, I don't care what your political stripe is, you're a dad and your 3 sons and your grandchildren are slaughtered. Well, that's the way of this war, right? So when we're looking at the idea here of revenge and Pluto and America and this ascendant of Iran squaring the revenge Pandora's box placement, that's worrisome for the world. This is the worrisome week ahead. And I would say that even though there was a 48-hour CIA, 48 hours, as reported by the Wall Street Journal, I believe, who's a arm for the CIA, basically we're going to see something happen in 48 hours. I don't think we're going to see something in 48 hours. Actually, I don't think that's true. But I do think we're going to see something next week from where I sit on Friday. So why? Because I will guess that when the sun on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, well, it depends on your time zone. My time zone in Western Canada is going to be on the Pacific coast. It's going to be Saturday, Sunday into Monday, where the sun begins to form that square to Pluto and America. And that's the cruelty, the ruthlessness, the dark fathers, the tyranny, the dictatorship, but it also is connecting to the asteroid for revenge and Pandora's box, who sit in Taurus as well. So acts of revenge are very likely to occur in this week ahead, maybe at the end of the week. And I wonder, but I'm not sure, Pandora's box has hope in the bottom of the box. And the saving grace is this. Oh, did I say the asteroid for revenge is here? I apologize. The asteroid for revenge is with Mars. Goofy me. It's been a day. I had acupuncture. I'm still spaced. Yeah. So the asteroid revenge is with Mars. Mars is saying revenge. This is Hephaestus, the armor of the gods with Pandora. What is that? Missiles. Okay. So thunderbolts of Zeus were forged by Hephaestus. He's with Pandora, and the revenge asteroid is with Mars. My apologies. So having Mars sitting with the revenge asteroid as the god of war is not too positive in my view. There's still like the idea of war and revenge. Mars docks with the asteroid for revenge, becomes one with the asteroid for revenge on, depends on your time zone, Tuesday, the 18th of April. So you might go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you may see some revenge. And you can see that this is Pisces, and that's the sea god Neptune there himself. And that's Saturn, which can represent bridges, which can represent dams, which can represent boundaries and shorelines. Therefore, there's a very strong feeling at the sky that if we see an act of retaliation or revenge by Iran toward Israel or any of its countries that support it, we're going to see it involving the word water. Okay? Even the word submarine. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, we're going to do all signs. We're going to talk about the positive part of the sky this week. This Hephaestus, the armor of the gods, is in relationship to or connection to squares Pluto America. So I don't like the thunderbolts of Zeus squaring America, that's for sure. So, everyone thinks there's going to be an attack on Israel, but it's just as likely to be, say, a U.S. military base or, a U.S. consulate office somewhere in the world, because the United States has been such a complicit and accomplice to this war that they may as well be having a war in Gaza as well, in terms of supplying the weapons and the money for the weapons, right? 70% of all the weapons that Israel uses come from America. So another 20 or percent from Germany, or it could be 60 America, 30 Germany, and 10% scattered here and there. So America and Germany are the arms suppliers of the Hephaestus, the missiles here, thunderbolts of Zeus. All right, enough politics. We're going to do your sign. It's going to be a lot more positive. I'd like to know in the comments, I really would, how you guys are feeling about this, okay? How are you feeling about the war in Gaza? When I first started doing this content back October, November, December, I dared to say I doth object. And of course, I was slammed by trolls and bots and real people who were like, I'm anti-Semitic. And I just say, no, I'm anti-genocide. And right now, I'm finding that more and more people are also in my camp, and less people are tolerant. That includes people I know who are Jewish. Okay, Judaism is not Zionism, and there's a whole different militarization and xenophobic, ethnocentric energy in Israel than there are with Jewish people practicing their faith in the world. You have to laugh that most of the population seems to be from other countries, right? Like they already have a reason to believe the promised land and, God's promised land for them and all that stuff. So, people from South Africa and Britain and Ireland who've exported themselves to Israel, who have Jewish ancestry, it's not just about you have a faith, you practice it. My daughter's best friend and the soccer coach dad are Jewish. And I was literally the soccer coach dad's team manager for like 4 years. Believe me, it's not like I don't have Jewish people in my life. And they're also just absolutely appalled by what's going on. So just saying, I had a rant there. Let's get going on now and talk about, can't say anything negative without being called anti-Semitic. There's something wrong with this world. Let's talk about all signs. Yep, all signs, starting with the Aries. All right. So what's this about, guys? I wanted to focus on some of the positive stuff. Oh, I should have said as well, deserter from the Navy is the Sabian symbol at 3 Aquarius. So when Pluto and the sun get to that place of 3 Aquarius, when they get there, a 2 Aquarius, but rounds up to 3 on Monday, really, the 22nd, a deserter from the Navy is here as the Sabian symbol. I find that very, very intriguing, given we have all that water over there. So betrayal, neglect of duty, insubordination, rebellion, resistance, misbehavior, disobedience, disrespect, opposition, recalcitrance, and misconduct are keywords in the Sabian symbol book that I use. All right, starting off now, forget the world. Let's go ahead and talk about you Aries people. and we'll move forward from there. Aries, sun, moon, and rising, seize the day. Remember, unexpected, bold, fortunate action, unexpected plenty and luck. But the Mars element, and we're talking about the Mars and the flow to Jupiter and to Uranus is what we want to focus on. This energy is going to be playing out all week long, but it is most acute or exact on Friday in my time zone, Friday the 19th, on Venus's day. That's when Mars will sextile Jupiter-Uranus at 21 degrees of the sign of Taurus after the conjunction on the 19th. On the 20th. So can you expect something good from this? Abso-friggin-lutely. For you, Aries, it's something good in your finances. I'm not even going to go into much detail because there's so much stuff that has already been covered in my other videos, but it's something to do with financial prosperity, abundance, fortunate actions, fortunate moments of time that occur sometime later this week as you approach the weekend. I'm going to give every sign Wednesday through Sunday. Fortunate, unexpected, surprising, positive abundance. You get to have some hope in a Pandora's box on your financial front. And some of that abundance may be through actions that are taken at the deep psychological, spiritual, and emotional level of yourself, where you're doing some soul work, or because of some connection to somebody from a foreign shore or foreign country or foreign place. But it's basically, yay, seize the day, fortunate action, and some financial abundance coming for you. And maybe a breakthrough, another good word for Mars Saturn, in an addiction, habit, or self-undoing pattern as this weekend approaches. All of a sudden, you don't like nicotine. Wow, how did that happen? Something like that. Oops, let me fix it. Actually, I may as well go ahead a few days so you can see the Pluto story unfolding as well. Mars at 22, I'm a little bit past. I'll go for this, the 19th. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to do Taurus. You're probably wondering why I'm so behind, but I have to unhook it from the whole sign into the whole sign. So let me just move the house signs. Yeah. Mhm. Now I'm in Capricorn. Isn't that funny? Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, you are lucky. You are freedom fighting. You are you're having excitement and anything is possible. You are making it happen. You are the one that carries the luck and the plenty and the leaderful exuberance and hope and faith of Jupiter, with the energy of that breaking through within your own self, your character, your identity, how you feel about being you. And as that's happening this week, you'll see that Wednesday through even to Sunday, the Mars flow to Jupiter-Uranus, that anything is possible, seize the day. It's about that the fortunate actions and decisions that are happening this week, connected to friends and allies and groups of belonging, as well as perhaps people that you may work with or know in a career capacity. Those people or an elder sibling is blasting through with something extremely positive. It may be the actions of someone you know who wishes to be an ally or a patron or a benefactor that show up in a way that surprises you this week, and also delights you, and also makes you feel extremely grateful for life itself. And again, it's most exact on Friday. You want to give it 3 days on either side of Friday. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. Well, having that Mars in the top of your sky, having come out of his difficult connection to Saturn, where you probably felt some frustration last week, is your career house. And he's flowing this week in a fortunate action. Anything is possible. Seize the day. Sudden, fortunate, surprising actions, even from your career space to your 12th house. What an interesting conversation that is between Mars and Jupiter-Uranus. You're having almost spiritual breakthroughs or deep soul work activations of the 12th, but at the same time, things that go on in your career and reputation space are super lucky and positive at the end of this week, exact on Friday, 3 days before and after. What decisions or actions are you taking boldly, but with surprising elements in that action-taking plan, decision-making plan, late this week, that can unfold as well as a surprising bounty financially if you make money from foreign countries, foreign shores, and foreign places. That could also bring in a career prosperity moment for you as this later week unfolds and you become quite delighted and grateful for some kind of breakthrough in your career and money narrative, especially if you make money from far off and foreign shores and lands. As well, I might mention that Mars is the ruler of your sixth house of work, and there's a possibility that he's pulling in some new work opportunity that's also going to be quite surprising and positive, but through backroom deals and negotiations. All right. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I think that you're going to feel that this is a lovely week, especially Friday, 3 days before and after, because Mars is giving you that total anything is possible vibe as he connects to Jupiter and Uranus in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes, and long-term plans for your life. Windfalls, unexpected financial abundance, things to do with your career gains, increasing, certainly with the North Node up here and Chiron. You've been working to increase your financial or career point in general to find a more purposeful career since 2019 and to increase it since last year, your focus on that career. Now, Jupiter can be, because he's in his joy here, somebody else, a friend, an older sibling, somebody you know that's a boss type person in a collegiate workspace, giving you a very surprising positive development when it comes to things to do with your ninth house as well. Ninth house Mars actions and decisions can also be about foreign countries, foreign lands, foreign travel, visas, book publishing deals, things to do maybe with higher education. Those areas are lit up. Way good energy. And I don't know, some of you just might have an unexpected, surprising opportunity to travel, especially abroad with some friend who said, I got an extra ticket. Do you want to come? Can be that simple. Or you win the court case because of a favor from a friend, or you get that book publishing agent because a friend puts you onto somebody. Fortunate action, sudden, surprising, unexpected, prosperous developments here. And also, Mars is the ruler of your fifth house. I mean, he can witness it. And there may be some positive developments in the week ahead, especially Friday, add, some time on either side, to do with your children or to do with your romantic partner, or even to do with, for some of you, financial luck that's from a win, some kind of sense of winning money, basically. We can win money through speculation and games of chance in that fifth house. You never know, because you see, the ninth house is like the bureaucracy of the government where that money must come from eventually. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're in the premiere. Thank you for being here, guys. All of my regulars, welcome back. And to my new people, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. The sky is opening up a doorway of excitement and positivity. Seize the day. Anything is possible. Fortunate, unexpected action. Lucky breaks are happening here. Breakthroughs and lucky breaks are happening here. This Mars, and he is in your chunky money house. He is out of hardship, frustration in the taxes, frustration in the chunky money, frustration in your investments. Who knows? And it's moving on now, and Mars is flowing to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Money surprises connected to career and reputation matters. Financial abundance connected to things that are very lucky in the career space for you at this time. I know. Some of your students, your career is you're a student. You're retired. Your career is whatever the frick you're doing in retirement, hopefully not just golfing. I always think it's like, why not give back and be a wise man, wise woman in retirement and do something, be a giver of service, not just a recreator. But hey, it's my judgment. Jupiter can be the boss, especially when the sun gets here, which is coming through on the 19th. So favors and lucky breaks from the boss or higher authorities in the workplace that benefit your long-range finances. I don't know, a severance package, a sign-on bonus, ability to buy company share stocks, performance review bonuses, things like that, or a tax break, unexpected tax break connected to your work, and you couldn't believe it could happen to you, but it did. This could be a tax refund or something exciting. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising this Friday, 3 days before and 3 days after, bring you this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction flowing to Mars in your seventh house. Seventh house matters are your marriage partner, your business partners, and if you have an audience, market, and clients, that you serve from your 10th house activities, 10th from the 10th house, those people as well. It's all those other people, right? Including your open enemies. Right. So you're looking across the way at them from your Virgoian helm, and you see Mars is over there. Well, Mars can be your partner. Fortunate action your marriage or business partner's taking that is going to benefit the ninth house. Foreign land travel? Surprise! Your partner hands you a ticket to a foreign land journey. Legal matters are in the seventh houses and the ninth house. So some unexpected fortunate outcomes in legal matters. The judge is ruling in your behalf. The judge is Jupiter up here. And, things are working out on legal agreements as well in unexpected and fortunate ways. Now, this can also involve sort of divorce and endings in relationships that are going better than you thought. And things are working out in a positive way, especially around the legal matters involved in separation, divorce, and divorce settlements. And, Mars is the ruler here of your third house of trips and travel, but also of skills-based learning and education. Possibly there are some developments it's definitely about the whole travel axis. So what unexpected, fortunate, surprising elements to do with travel may emerge for many of you Virgos coming up at the end of this week? And it doesn't have to be far away. It could even just be, oh my gosh, we have a chance to go on a local getaway. Let's do it. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. So we have Mars here this week on Friday. This is a Friday, 3 days before and after story. And Mars is flowing from the house of work and health matters to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in that chunky money house. Now that has a lot of money to it because Mars is eliminating debt here. And this is a chunk of money coming in. This is like I paid off the credit card, I paid off the mortgage, I got a debt reduction plan, I refinanced and everything's super swell. Some of those surprises are here for Libras. Now you can also get inheritances with this one, especially from father figures. The son will be here. And if you do get an inheritance or a trust or some money from a parent or grandparent, father figure, it could happen that you get news of that information that's coming to you, or you hear about it on Friday, give or take 3 days on either side of Friday. I kind of would say also you may make some major changes in your work situation, in your job and work situation, fortunate action that suddenly pays out in much bigger money outcomes, positive ones for you. Maybe a severance package because you're leaving, or a sign-on bonus because you're starting. And here's a chunk of money, maybe a big commission if you're a salesperson that surprises you. Just as kind of like, here's this chunk of money, here's this chunk of prosperity. And you may be well esteemed in the workplace because the esteem of others can be the eighth house, and you're making fortunate changes and decisions and actions in the workplace. It's also going to be good for your health and maybe some surprising turnarounds in a frustrating, maybe even chronic health problem that has been bothering you. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising on the Friday of this week ahead, give or take 3 days on either side, that Mars flow to Jupiter and to Uranus is playing out. Now, Mars is in the house of children and lovers, and therefore sometimes this may be there moving out of the house, making decisions, taking fortunate actions that are also reflected in the seventh house. Now, the seventh house could be legal matters. So fortunate actions with children and legal matters, fortunate actions with your marriage partner and lover it's going to bless you both. However, Jupiter-Uranus can be a lucky break in the significant other house. So maybe your long-term partner in life, in love and romance, is having a breakthrough, a lucky break, a significant, unexpected, happy surprise. And that's going to benefit you guys in the house of fertility and pregnancy. And you know what I'm going to go with, aren't yeah, an unexpected fertility story, meaning oops or yay, we are pregnant. The other element here could be if you're an artist or a performer or a musician or somebody who does creative art, you could have a massive breakthrough with something that's got lobbed into the audience or marketplace that's going to be very successful. And you want to take it from Friday at 3 days or 4 days before and 3 days after, where you could have some kind of hit, basically. Something can go a little bit viral and really bust out with Jupiter expanding the Uranus internet outcome from some creative project. And, come on, I mean, Neptune's there, music, photography, filmography, video, storytelling, imagination. And this is like a nice blow up of something here. Okay. And Mars does rule, just FYI, you are going to benefit from this. Mars is in a house of good fortune. This is a very fortunate week for you, especially if you're entrepreneurial or creative or artistic or trying to have a baby. I don't know if I'd start a new romance under this. You could, you could, or start a new romance under this. Why the hell not? I mean, Venus is in your sixth house of dating. Still, I took her out to keep it simple. So you could start dating someone new and be quite exciting this week. Friday, 3 days before and 3 days after. Moving forward. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign is the story of Friday, where 3 days before and after Mars will come into that super beautiful place of flowing to Jupiter-Uranus. Now, Mars can bring you decisions and actions that are very lucky and surprisingly fortunate this week when it comes to matters of your home. Are you going to move your home, change your home, sell your home? Are you going to do a construction project in your home? Saturn and Mars do that kind of thing. You're going to travel away from home. Those energies are big for you guys on Friday, but bracket it by 3 days on either side. And yet it pays off for your health in a lucky, surprising way. For the sixth house, it pays off when it comes to pets and rental situations. So if you're a Sag looking to rent a property as a tenant or as a landlord to lease a property, sudden unfortunate surprises, seize the day, anything is possible. Okay, and you could get a pet under this for sure. Pets belong to the sixth house, and Jupiter and Uranus is surprise, and it could be that there's a pet coming your way that you didn't expect, but you're okay with it because it all flows and you feel spiritually a spiritual warrior pet is coming your way. And if you have any challenges to your health, you may have some breakthroughs from some measures you're taking in your home that are very fortunate and improve your health over the course of this week ahead. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, I get to sit in the sun today. Yay, me. This is going to be great. This is like Friday, 3 days before, 3 days after, where Mars is going to come into a flowing relationship to Jupiter-Uranus on that conjunction. Please watch my other videos on this stuff, but this is this week. And so Mars says something like, wow, are you going to take a trip? Are you going to make a decision to study some kind of course, or some kind of course you want to study? Are you going to hear from a sibling, aunt, uncle, cousin, or niece, or childhood friend? And these are third house people. And there's action and decisions that they may be taking or making. And it's flowing to the Jupiter-Uranus placement of good fortune. The house of good fortune is where lottery wins happen, gaming, casino, breakthroughs. Yay, you. This can look like, oh my gosh, I don't know, you buy a ticket in the local 7-Eleven and boom, you won the lottery. It could happen for you. It could also be an unexpected opportunity for romantic travel. Your lover, romance, sexual life is here. And there's a big blow up, glow up, flow up here with Jupiter-Uranus, resetting that for the next 14 years in a good way. And we have travel, usually shorter distance, more domestic travel opportunities, but any kind of travel. And it's this Friday, but it's got that surprise element, something you don't expect. Unexpected travel opportunity, basically, it can be with a romantic partner, with a child, or for a child, or to a child, but also it could connect to entrepreneurial self-starter. You got your own business. So if you're consulting or you're not in a hierarchical employment structure, you could have a breakthrough here with an opportunity to travel for a work opportunity. And then lots of times the third house could be your emails, phone calls, and text messages. It's just a communication house, really, and a real social media. So some kind of unexpected communications are busting through, or developments in your online or social media life that favors your financial fortunes, makes you feel lucky, and makes you feel like you enjoy your life. You really have more fun in your life, basically. Jupiter in the fifth house expands your enjoyment of life. So this is Friday, 3 days before and 3 days after. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm one of you. I'm a rising. So what we have here is on Friday, give it 3 days before and 3 days after, you're going to see Mars flowing to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, bringing in a sense of financial actions and decisions that are very fortunate as it applies to your fourth house. Home, property, land, real estate, buy, own, sell, rent, and possibly There's something you're doing in the home that brings you some major turning points in your finances that are very positive. Mars here is a spender sometimes. Okay, he's also a self-starter, but he's a spender. You may make some decisions to spend some money, but it's going to benefit you in a surprising, unexpected, and fortunate way. Again, Friday, 3 days before and after. Now, this is a house of this house is speech, and this is Mars who's aggressive, but also very spiritual. So spiritual aggressive speaking can be, it was almost like being tongue-tied last week. Saturn was conjunct Mars, and we felt frustrated with speech, tongue-tied or inhibited with speech or something. But now Mars is past that frustration. And so spiritual warrior speech, I have a dream, that's not what you can do for your country, what your country can do for you. Big, like inspirational, spiritual speech energy is allowing for some kind of unexpected, fortunate, surprising plenty or abundance or wealth connected to things that are happening in and from and about your home. Mars is the ruler of your 10th house of career. For some of you, it's career speech, things you're doing in your work and career. It's like finding a pot of gold in your home, basically. Now, Jupiter down here, sometimes that's a legacy wealth transit. You may get some inheritance money from somebody. That's not the most obvious thing from this, because the 8th house is often the bequeathment house and not necessarily seeing much action there. But it could be some kind of prosperity from a family member just wants to give you some money, especially with the sun, some money being given to you by a father or grandfather figure. Especially with the sun flowing to Saturn, making that more the grandfather archetype here, or the elder male. Alrighty. Luck in the home and luck in the money. All right. Home, luck, money, home. Home, joy, luck club. Alrighty, tell me what happens, guys. I'll tell you what happens too. Next video, I'll let you know what happened for me as an Aquarius rising. And then we have this, the Pisces people. And for you guys, this is this Friday. Mars will be flowing from the house of you, your actions, your decisions, your movement, your motivation, your will is a direction that you're going that is going to be very fortunate on Friday, 3 days before and after, that also flows over to some abundance, prosperity, and unexpected surprises. Anything is possible regarding third house features. Third house, online social media things. Maybe you make a decision, you have something blow up in the online world, like a viral hit. Travel, short distance especially. Maybe one of your siblings has a bit of jolt of amazing luck, and you're like making decisions or taking actions based on the luck of a sibling, third house, aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, or nephew. Or some kind of bounteous learning opportunity opens up before you to study something and you decide to sign up for the course, but it feels lucky because you got the scholarship or you got the last spot in the class. This is Friday, 3 days before and after. Finally, travel. These are shorter distance trips, but some travel opportunity suddenly arising, and you're making decisions and taking bold seize the day action to grab the travel opportunity. Friday, 3 days before and 3 days after. And if you're somebody who is marketing, messaging, and selling, certainly you could have a breakthrough in any of those areas. That's third house matters in the online world, especially. A neighbor may have a suddenly surprising development that benefits you. Neighbors belong to your third house, as well as some of those friends from high school and elementary school, your childhood friendships. Let's see what happens, guys. Just let me know. I'd love to hear back how this wonderfully surprising, positive time, basically Wednesday through Sunday, works for everyone. Don't forget, though, there are some gnarly stories in the world. We're not the world. We're just people. So let me know about your positive outcomes with this surprising Jupiter-Uranus conjunction energy, giving us a small story this week. The big story is, of course, 14 years long. And that's why you want to go listen to my videos on this, the 2 of them that are out by me, and the one with Dan Waite's World Astrology Report, where we talk about UFOs and aliens and AI and a bunch of other things that seem to be connected to Jupiter and Uranus and other features of our sky. I love that channel. I hope you guys do too. I'll have Dan back on my channel sometime this year. He's reformatting his channel, but we have a plan to reconnect again. I hope you guys will be there for that next video between the 2 of us. All right. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and have a wonderful Jupiter-Uranus conjunction flowing to Mars week ahead. Take care, everyone.